We've got some breaking news now on Newsday for Sky News. The Tasmanian Premier Jeremy Rockliff will face off against opposition leader Rebecca White at the Sky News Mercury People's Forum, just days out from the state election. I'll be hosting the 1 hour forum with a room full of undecided voters on Wednesday, the 20th of March at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, live from Hobart, to be broadcast right here on Sky News. Joining me now to preview that and the campaign, which is underway, is David Killick, the Mercury's political editor. David, let's start with the People's Forum. It's going to come at a very important time, just a couple of days out from the state going to the polls.
Yes, Kieran, it's always a great event. It's always a great opportunity for the two leaders to lay out their wares before the election. This will be the first time that Jeremy Rockliff has faced off against Rebecca White. It'll be late in the campaign. We've just had some opinion polling in today that indicates that Labor's starting to drift. So this will be a great opportunity for Rebecca White to make up that ground.
One of the beauties of the forum as well is, as you know, and we've done a few of them now, David, is the undecided voters. Their questions are not vetted. They get to ask whatever's on their mind. And the leaders are seen in a very different context. It is a very raw and unpredictable way to go about politics in the last stages of the campaign, David.
Yeah, Tasmanians are passionate about their politics, and no more so in the seat of Clark. At a federal level, this is the seat that returns Andrew Wilkie. We have a very strongly independent streak in this electorate. The questions that we get on the floor from the People's Forum are always fantastic. They always show that voters, even though they haven't got a preference for a party, that they're engaged very heavily with the issues. And the issues in this campaign, front and centre, has been cost of living, things like energy prices, education, but most of all the perennial in Tasmania, which is health. And both leaders can expect to get questions from the floor on how they would handle Tasmania's health system.
Now, David, the other big story, and we've discussed it as well, is the AFL team and the stadium. I noticed the Premier has reached out to the AFL in terms of the timing of all of this, with the team name and the announcement of all of that. He has argued he doesn't want it to be politicised in the final days of the election campaign. What's the status of that? When will this announcement happen?
So the intention was for the team's formal launch to be in the week before the voters go to the polls. There was a feeling in some quarters that would politicise the team. There'd be lots of politicians there. There'd be people trying to ride off the coattails of that announcement. It's a very emotive issue in Tasmania, where we've had a big debate over whether the government should be building an AFL stadium on the waterfront here in Hobart. Very strong, very passionate arguments both for and against that. Mr. Rockliff's written to the team organising committee and said, look, can we push that back a week? I understand it's difficult to organise things. If you can't, I'll stay away and I'll encourage my candidates to stay away. His exact words were that he didn't want the team to become a political football.
Yes, well, it's such a big part of Tasmania, the love of footy, and it's been the birthplace of many great champions. Let's wrap up our chat today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks for the People's Forum, but just give our viewers a sense of where this campaign's heading. Who's the favourite right now, David?
Look, we've just had some EMRS polling that dropped in the last hour or so. Just having a quick look, the Liberal government is holding steady since the last poll. They're on 39%, and Labor have drifted down from 29 to 26%. That's largely because for the first time in this polling, the effect of the Jackie Lambie network candidates has been counted. So those JLN candidates are sitting on 9%. That's the first time they've registered on the poll. But what's really interesting about it is that Rebecca White has narrowed the gap in the preferred Premier stakes. She's come in from 35 to 38%. Jeremy Rockliff has dropped very slightly from 42 to 41%. That poll was taken about 2 weeks ago. It was very early days in the campaign. So there have been a lot of some pretty heavy-hitting policy announcements since then. Candidates are announced this Thursday. There's a long way to go in this campaign yet.
There is indeed. David, great to chat. And as I said, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. The Tasmanian Premier Jeremy Rockliff will face off against opposition leader Rebecca White at the Sky News Mercury People's Forum. That is going to be on the 20th of March, Wednesday. I'll be hosting that forum, 100 undecided voters in the room, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, live from Hobart.